Hey guys, welcome to Oh Brother Comics. I'm Chris,
I'm Nick.
Matt.
and we're here to bring you our weekly review from this week's comics. I believe it was from May 26th. Sorry, I'm a little bit, bad with dates,
Right.
but May 26th is when they came out. So we're going to go ahead and we're talking about the comics that we were really interested this week. So the way we do this is we go ahead and we pick two comics that we're all going to read. And this week, we all decided that we really wanted to read The Last Ronin for all huge TMNT fans. I still got to get my tattoo. I know, guys. It's coming.
Yeah, dude.
It's coming. But
That's got
a decade.
TMNT was like our staple as kids. Even Grandpa. When we'd wrestle him, we'd be, Grandma would put our little capes on, give us a little Flintstone vitamins to go fight the Shredder.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I also remember 15 years ago when Matt and I got our tattoos, and you said you were going to as well.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes.
We need to start a Patreon so people can donate money so you can get your tattoo.
Maybe that's a thing, and maybe we'll just go and we'll film it. I'll get it. Maybe I'll throw it on the other part of my sleeve. I'll get it, right here.
We can do an Instagram claim sale just to fund your tattoo.
Yeah. No, Chris can start an OnlyFans.
Ooh, don't tempt anyone. Don't tempt anyone with that. That's just asking for bad things. Well, anyway, we also decided to go with Star Wars Darth Vader. So, big Star Wars fans, got to keep going with Vader, and this is a big issue. So we went with that. And then we also decided to go ahead and pick 4 issues individually and kind of just go over them and give us a little synopsis and let you know what we thought about them. So, Nick, you want to go ahead and start? I'll let you go ahead and pick one, brother.
All right. Well, keeping on the Star Wars, my first one is Dr. Aphra. This is the prelude to the War of the Bounty Hunters. I really like this issue. This issue is kind of fast paced. It's taking place with Aphra teaming up with Sana Staros, her ex lover / love of her life. They are being kind of like blackmailed into working for the Tag family, which is like this corporate like illegal arms and dealer for the Empire. They're like a high profile billionaire type family, and they're very family oriented. So when a cousin or whatever goes missing, because like all of the different cousins in this family are put in charge of like different sectors and stuff like that, and sometimes they get greedy and go missing or something like that, and they send Aphra to go, like they blackmail her into going and finding these different cousins. And
isn't she an archaeologist? Like, so that she's using her tracking skills or something? Or
so she is an archaeologist, but she's also a like a tech genius.
Okay.
So right now her mission
scientist.
Her mission in this one is to retrieve a Nihil path engine that
they're
like pushing the Nihil shit hard.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, I am fine with that. After reading High Republic, Marcion Rowe is actually one of my top characters. I've really been kind of getting into. So
that's cool. But suddenly it's like out of nowhere. It's like Nihil.
Yeah, they put a lot of money into it. They're going to push it. They don't want to lose that bet.
Yeah, and this is an ancient Nihil path engine. So the engine that they use in the High Republic, where they're able to, the Nihil are able to like travel the other directions in hyperspace. What causes that whole explosion and everything?
The paths.
Yeah. So she's tasked with going and retrieving this from another scientist or like another like high profile celebrity status type family person.
Retrieving the paths?
Well, this guy has made like a prototype for the path engine. So they have like this like crystal that's like the data crystal for the path engine, and this guy has built like a prototype around this, using this crystal,
They went to the Fortress of Solitude,
like
now
data
using
crystal.
Superman's crystals.
So yeah, and then there's this other person that's also the other like bounty hunter type person that's trying to get this crystal from, and I think her name is Bakora.
Oh.
And yeah, so she's like in the middle of this battle trying to get in and figure out a way of getting this crystal, this data crystal for the path engine. And Aphra is like all about, hey, this place is going to blow up. I'm leaving. But Sana Staros has a conscience. So she ends up like Aphra ends up being like, all right, I'm gonna step in and do something crazy. So she goes up and like just walks on stage while this woman's just like executing people because their scientists or their tech people are not fixing this path engine fast enough. So like every minute or whatever, she's just shooting somebody. So Aphra walks up and like convinces this person that she's the only one that can fix the path engine.
Interesting.
And by the way, for anybody watching this right now, we do have spoilers on our channel. So,
surprise!
So I know you're probably about 4 minutes in, but like,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. So, anyways, like, yeah. So, anyways, she stalls long enough to get the data crystal out of the path engine, destroys the whole thing, escapes out of there. The bounty hunter woman is like still hot on their trails, and Sana Staros shoots her in the face, but she has a mask on, so it just like blows her mask off, and now even more pissed. But now at the end of it, like they go back and they give this data crystal to the Tag family, the woman that's in charge of the Tag family, and then they get sent on another mission because she's still pretty much like owned by this woman. But yeah, it's a really good story. I'm really looking forward to the next issue. Dr. Aphra has definitely been one of my favorite comic series that's ongoing currently. Yeah, I would definitely recommend reading that one.
It's honestly, it's a character that I really need to start getting more into. I know she's getting real hot in the spec scene, especially with the Mandalorian. There's rumors that she's going to be in an upcoming show.
So, yeah, I think it's because of her relationship with Darth Vader.
I think so too.
Like I really like that dynamic between her and Vader was always really cool.
Yeah,
when he shoots her into space, like
yep,
that's cool. But like they had like a really cool relationship.
Interesting. All right, brother. Well, I got an important question for you real quick. Oh, sorry. I got an important question for you. What are you going to rate it? How many O Brother awards out of 5? Out of 1 through 5, how many O Brother awards are you going to give that comic this week?
I think this one is probably like a 3.5.
3.5? That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good issue. It definitely wasn't like the best that I've read. Yeah. So yeah, it was a solid 3.5.
Oh yeah, nice. I still got to read it. I started it, and yeah, it was a little wordy for me. Definitely a lot of information, so I'll have to finish reading it this week. But yeah. Pretty good. Nice. All right, Matt, what you got, sir?
All right. So the first one I read was DC's Round Robin #1, Robins vs. Suicide Squad. I was actually, I don't know, like I've always, like I really love like the Bat family. Like I've always been super into that. And I've always really liked the Suicide Squad. But for some reason I was like hesitant to like get into this book. I just feel like it was kind of like kind of a cash grab kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Right. Like we know like the Suicide Squad movie's coming out. Like right. I was kind of hesitant. I was like, man, I don't really like. So I think my expectations of it was kind of like low. But I read it, and honestly, I liked it. Like I can't really say anything bad about it. Like I liked it. It was really cool to see. And like when I did, I just noted down the writer is Tim Seeley and the artist is Vladimir Rivas. I just like kind of noted all that for all my comics, just to like
Yeah,
in the
heck yeah.
future see if the same names keep coming up.
Find writers you like and artists. Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, just so people can like hear who's doing this stuff. But yeah, it was really good, man. It was actually kind of interesting. Actually, wait, I take that. Hold on. So the writer, so it's one comic book, but there's two different writers and there's like two teams
Okay.
in the comic. So it's kind of like two books in one.
Probably the
It's kinda
Suicide Squad
interesting.
team and the Robin team.
And yeah, so it's called the Suicide Squad 7 and the Robins. So it's two teams writing, but like I'm interested to see how they finally mesh them together with like these two teams, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of actual writers and artists. Like who's losing their job? Like who's getting replaced? But so the Robins, it was Tim Seeley and I don't know how to say his name, Vladimir Rivas, and then for the Suicide Squad 7, I've had a lot of tequila, so the slurring, that's why. So it was really good, but like, okay, so getting into it, you got the Robins, you got all of them, you got Tim Drake, Damian, Jason Todd, you got Dick Grayson. The Suicide Squad members, of course, you got Harley Quinn, she's going to be in there. You got El Dorado. Don't know much about that guy, but he's a Superman type character. He actually apparently was a part of the Super Friends for back in the day.
Really?
Yeah,
I remember,
that's
man.
what
The Hall of Justice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he just kind of stands there. He's like anti-fighting, anti-violence. So he just gets shot and beat up, but he's like Superman, so nothing happens to him.
All right.
You have like I want to say like Dulce. I don't know. He's a serial killer, or no, sorry. She's like a serial killer. She's like super into candy. She's basically like like kind of a Harley Quinn character. You got Acero.
That's where her name comes from. Dulce in Spanish is like candy.
Okay, there you go. So all these dudes are like, or all these people are like from Central America, different countries, Central America, South America. But we got Acero. He's like a hitman. He's kind of gives me like a Moon Knight, Deathstroke kind of vibe. You have Monstro, who so it's a chick that turns into a monster. Sounds fucking familiar as an Invincible fan. I think someone's gonna get sued off that shit. But it's really good. It's a cool team. Like all of them all together. It was kind of cool because you got the Robins. They're fighting like a cult team, like a cult group. And then mirroring that on the Suicide Squad side, they were fighting like a cult team that wants to like blow up the world or whatever. So there's a lot of mirroring going on of the two teams. They're kind of doing the same thing. I liked like that bat, like Red Hood's always kind of been my favorite Robin. That like after post Robin, he's kind of been my favorite. He's kind of back to his old stuff of like he kills with like no problem. Like I know him and Batman always go back and forth on that, and he's like, okay, I'll stop. But then in this issue, he just throws a dude on a bomb to like suppress the explosion, like no problem. And
Jason.
And of course, like yeah. And Dick Grayson's just like, we're gonna talk about that later, and he's like, okay, fuck
dude,
you.
You see that
care.
all the damn time, dude. Like, come on, yeah. Like, give him a break. He was killed. Like, he was supposed to be killed with the crowbar. Let him be, man. He's got some pent up aggression. He's still get out. So
it's a fun, so it's a fun team, and but I like the mirroring. I like how the stories mirror, and all that. And it was a good book. Like I really liked it. Like I honestly am looking forward to see what's to come of it. And I don't know, like, is it a book I keep reading? I would say, like, yeah. Like I had no intention of ever reading it. I wasn't really super like pumped about it. Yeah, like after reading it, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm down. I'm down for this ride. I don't know how many issues it's gonna be, but yeah. Yeah, it's a good book. I recommend it.
Honestly, dude, it's like that's what I'm hoping that we get out of this. That we're going to read some books and actually try some new stuff and really get into some, decent stories that are out there. There's so much coming out.
Yeah.
It's hard to really kind of get it all. But
Yeah.
okay, Matt. So for you, how many Oh Brother awards you giving this?
Out of 5.
Oh yeah.
That's a good question. I think because my expectations were lower, and the fact that I was actually like pleasantly surprised by how much I liked it, I think that kind of boosted it a little bit. But I think a good, like a, I'd say like a 3.8. I say 3.8.
Wow, you're really getting technical. 3.8. All right, we'll go and we'll mark that on the score as a 3.8 for.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
go with that.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll take the next one. For my first comic, this was actually very close on my list for my pick of the week. And this is Department of Truth, number 9. I've honestly been loving this series. Tynion is just killing it. And this is really hitting my conspiracy, fringe, Men in Black itch that I've been looking for a long time. Real quick, I'll just give a quick synopsis of this. Like, in this issue, we continue with Cole, who is our main character in the story. And basically, he's been partnered up with Hawk, who's a old member of the team. He's one of the OGs of the Department of Truth. And his job is really to take the incidents that happen in the world, the conspiracy incidents that actually happen to, in reality, and he basically puts it out into the media that it's basically a hoax or a fake kind of thing. Or even he sent in to lay seeds into certain people that were in the events so that they can control the narrative and kind of control the event and control how it affects reality. Because so far as we've gotten into this book, we've been told that the way reality works is the more people that believe in something, reality manifests it into reality. Even with the first issue where we saw that the Flat Earth Society, the head moguls of the Flat Earth Society, because so many people in the world were starting to believe that the world is actually flat, it was actually happening, and they had actually found the edge of the world, kind of thing. But that's a whole nother thing. I don't want to get too much into it because it's first issue, but that's that gives you an idea. And then this department is there to control that, so they make sure they stop it. So they, when their modem down, yada yada, control the situation. You find out that because we've been hearing more and more about Cole's past and why he's so scared of the star-faced man. And we open up with a video where he's being interviewed I assume by police, because he was in this incident where he talks about his teachers in his school during nap time. They would pick certain kids and they would bring them down into this secret stairwell that was behind the shelf. And down there, they were eating babies. People were eating babies, kind of thing. And they're telling him like, oh, try it. The teachers are trying to convince him like, you got to eat this, try it. The babies taste like hot dogs, kind of thing. And he doesn't really want to. And then there's a star-faced man that's there that's getting angry at him because he's telling him he doesn't want to. And he's like, well, you got to finish your plate. And it's a really messed up situation. And this has always kind of been in his head. And now that he's in this department, it's kind of coming back, kind of thing. But we learn what the key about this is we learn that Hawk was the one that was sent in to handle his incident as a kid. So we're diving more deep into that, and that's going to be an issue for Cole, because Cole is already kind of questioning the department, whether or not it's ethical and if he really believes in it, even though he's been kind of indoctrinated into this. So it's been really kind of an interesting story. I'm really looking forward to the next issue. This just keeps getting better and better. This is a hot book. I've been specking on this book for a long time. I know I've told you guys every time I go to the store at the comic shop, I'm picking up any of the printings I can off this book. And they're pretty easy to come by for the most part. Some of the first prints are harder. But anyway, sorry, little spec knowledge on that. Definitely start picking this up, guys. It's a great book. It's going to get optioned. It's going to be huge. If I'm going to give it an award, it was tough because, like I said, it was very close to my top for this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it probably at a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, that's high, dude.
It was so good. All right. Shoot it, Nick. You're next.
All right, my next comic is actually I don't have a physical copy. It was a comic that I believe was only digital here in the U.S., but it is called Love, 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 Volume 1, and the title is Yeah, Yeah, Yeah.
Who's the
It's
publisher? on that?
by it is by Europe Comics, I believe. Yeah, Europe Comics.
I hadn't heard about that one.
Yeah, I actually almost did that one too, but I like did not.
Yeah, so it was actually really intriguing. I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to be about. Um, so it's set in Paris in the future, and it's about a time where robots have evolved sentience, but they are actively discriminated against. So they
They're
like
omnics.
their rights are being revoked.
For the robots?
Yeah, the robots. Yeah, and
Okay.
robot is actually a derogatory term. So they're
Kind of
called
like
mechas.
They're
They're
called
mechas.
mechas. Okay.
Mechas.
Okay.
Yeah,
kind of
so
like Overwatch where you had the
The omnics. Yeah.
the
kind of,
Omnics.
but there was no like war. They are being discriminated against
The
because of the threat that they
Omnic Wars?
pose. Well, I know there was. That's what I'm
Sorry.
saying. There was no war in here,
Got.
Not
Oh,
yet.
sorry.
not in Overwatch, dude.
Anyway,
I know that there was a war in Overwatch.
sorry. It's an interesting story. I'm intrigued.
No,
Sorry.
they're being discriminated against here because of the threat that they pose to human society.
Gotcha.
So they are like relegated to only living in certain neighborhoods, being able to have certain jobs. A lot of them, like the government tells them what apartment to live in. These are going to be your roommates, and as time goes on, it gets worse and worse. So I'm looking forward to Volume 2. I thought it was actually a really, really well put together story. I think it's more like a trade paperback. It's like a
It'll-
48 pages long or something like that.
Wow. That's a good
I don't think
size.
it's a yeah, it's definitely a longer story. But
That's really cool.
yeah, I think it has a lot to do with like the current times and the different things that are the aspects that are going on in our societies. But
Interesting.
yeah, I'd say this one I'd probably also give like a 3.5.
All right. Okay. You
Yeah, I
give
thought it was really good,
3.5.
and
Oh, brothers. All right.
Definitely looking forward to Volume 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it sounds really interesting. And like, I was actually gonna like read that one. I saw that, but then like for whatever reason, I like found some other ones and like kind of moved on. But like that actually sounds really interesting, dude. Like it sounds like it would have been a really good one to read.
Yeah. Might have to try that one out later. Heck yeah. Matt, you up, bro?
All right. All right. So this one, all right, this is tough to say because like I think this is my pick of the week. I think so. Yeah, I think this is my pick of the week. This one and the next one I'm gonna do, like as we go through everybody, like could have also been my pick of the week. I don't know. It's on the fence, but I think I'm leaning on this one. This is my pick of the
All right.
week.
This is Matt's official pick of the week.
I'm going official. It's my final answer, Regis. Yeah, I'm going with it. So this is Helm Grey Castle.
Oh yeah.
By Image.
I forgot
Really
about
good,
that
man.
one.
Never heard of this shit. Really good. Like just picked it up. It's issue number 2.
Hey Matt,
The
sorry. Don't derail. I don't want to derail you. I have a number 1 sign for you.
oh fuck, for real?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
sweet.
They came
All
to
right.
the guy came to the shop at my little comic shop and he signed a bunch of comics on the rack. So I grabbed it, one for each of you guys.
Holy
Nice.
shit! All
Anyway,
right,
sorry.
dude.
Keep going, brother.
Nah, that's sick, dude.
I'll be sending them out to you.
So, man, where do I begin? It's good. I liked it. Like it opened up with like it's coming like the time frame it's in
Well,
is
it's very
during
fantasy, right? Like kind of
oh
fantasy
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So it opens up with like the Aztecs, but it's like post Cortez coming in and meeting them.
Like a
But
height
then
of
the
their empire.
characters, yeah. So like the characters, like the main character is Helm Greycastle, but it's like a group of them. It's very like D&D, I would say. And at the end of the issues, they have like D&D ratings, so I was like, okay, that makes sense. But like you have like an orc and an elf and a fucking Spartan Viking looking guy, which is Greycastle, and so like, it seems like it's like a D&D story kind of that takes place during these Aztecs time frame, except with fantasy characters. But it's like, it's cool. I really like it. This is like my pick of the week.
Nice.
Yeah, like everything about it, like it's just the historical elements, the fantasy elements. The art style is really cool. It seems like it's going to be action packed. The characters' relationships are really fun. Yeah, super liked it. Super recommend it. I think would I give the other one like a 3.8. So as a pick of the week out of 5, I'd probably I'd have to. Just completely being new to this comic, like first time reading it and like loving it. Fuck, man, I'd have to. I don't know. Are we allowed to cuss in this channel? I don't even know. But like a 4.6, like a solid 4.6.
4.6.
I think that, yeah, I think that's pretty high.
That's
pretty high. I think I can't give anything a 5 because if something is better than that, like I just fucked up the scale. But like, yeah, I'm gonna say 4.6 on this one. And definitely, if you're watching us, if you're listening to this, like, pick it up, check it out. Especially if you like D&D, like, is a comic for you. And like I said, at the end of the issue, like they have these dudes D&D ratings, like the dexterity and the strength and wisdom and blah blah blah. So like they're actually like characters. So. I thought that was kind of cool. They have little, yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. So for my next book, I went with Spawn. I've been a huge Spawn fan for as long as I can remember, but I have to admit I have not really been reading the comic all that much. Just with my daily life, it's tough. But I've still been buying it, and I decided it's about time I really jump into it. With everything coming with Spawn and the new Spawn universe coming, I really have to get back into it. So I decided to start with this issue here. Now, it's pretty much everything I remember and love about Spawn. It's not like the most amazingly written book, but it's fun. And honestly, when I read it, it reminds me of like watching an episode of like an animated series kind of thing. In this, we have many multiple spawns, and I'm sorry I'm not gonna be able to that great of a description. I'm gonna have to go back and read the previous issues, probably from 300 forward, just to catch up. But in here we see that basically the spawns that are in here, we have Spawn, we have Medieval Spawn, there's another female Spawn, I believe her name is, and I apologize if I mess it up, I think it's Jessica. And I still have to follow up on that because she wasn't there when I was reading the comic. But anyway, they basically have come back from a big battle on an island against many other spawns. And I think what they're doing is they're leading up to the Spawn universe is coming up, which is going to be multiple storylines of Spawn with different spawns. Gunslinger Spawn, Medieval Spawn, yada yada, whatever they decide to go with. So they're definitely setting up that kind of an idea. This book was definitely a lot of fun. Like I said, that's one of the great things about Spawn and being the longest running independent comic there is it's always been fun. And that's what makes it, stand out from the rest and why it's survived for so long and still at a $2.99 price tag. Guys, you got to keep supporting this. Todd McFarlane treats us too well with this. Great story, great book. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to try and keep this short because we want to kind of give you guys some time to like get through the books. I'm going to give this a 3.5 Oh Brother Award.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a good book. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, not the great, writing, but I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one. So 3.5 award. Really looking forward to this book. And next time, I promise, guys, I'll have more to talk about because I'm going to follow up on this book. Catch up.
Cool. If I can just piggyback off you real quick.
Yeah, bro, go for it.
Just a thought, like I know Spawn is Image.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, dude, Image is gold, bro. Like if you pick it, like, and I just reviewed Helm Greycastle, which is Image, and I've been reading like Invisible. I think Jupiter's Legacy is Image, I believe.
Yep.
Like
there's so many of them, dude.
Everything, yeah, dude. Like anything, like why Image is not like you said, go pay the $2.99 to keep supporting. I'm just saying how Image is not up there with Marvel and DC like blows my mind because like everything Image is gold, bro.
Dude,
like
totally.
It's good.
Like Marvel right now, like their quality is bad. The writing, don't get me wrong, they have some good books right now, but there's a lot that's just like kind of fluff. And now that they've increased the price and they're just adding filler, anyway, this is a whole other topic for another video. But anyway, Image, like I said, paper quality always top, low price, $2.99, decent story. Any of the indie stuff, guys, go out there. Marvel and DC is great, but indie titles, Boom Studios, Image, Bad Idea, any of those guys, Scout Comics, they're doing killer stories right now. Hit those guys.
Super killer. Yeah. Like they're also good. But I could just say you could like pull a random Image comic off the shelf and you're gonna love it. Dude, like there's just it's killing it, man.
Pick up every number one that's out there. Just try the stories. They're so good. All right, brother. Nick, you're up, bro. What you got next?
Yep, and Spawn 318 is the last issue before Spawn's universe. Oof. So next Spawn that comes out is June 23rd, and that's Spawn's universe #1.
Okay, I have a few days to catch up.
Doesn't come out until June 30th.
I have some time. Let's do this. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. All right. So my next. So actually, I think this is my pick of the week.
Oh yeah! All right.
Yeah, so this is actually by one of those independent comics. This is Scout Comics. This is By the Horns.
Okay. Ooh, I didn't see that
one. So this is like a fantasy adventure. So if you like Zelda, Final Fantasy, Elder Scrolls, stuff like that, it's basically like reading a video game. It's about the main character Elodie, and she's got like this vendetta against unicorns, dude, and she's just like traveling around trying to find unicorns just to slaughter them. Like
what the hell?
What did they ever do to her? Jeez.
Yeah, dude. Like, so she actually gets banished from her farming hometown because she doesn't help out with any of the farming, because she leaves and goes on these week-long or multi-week-long excursions to just freaking kill all of the beasts that she can find.
Jeez.
Random.
Like, she just has like this axe, dude. She just goes around freaking chops their heads off and like puts them into this hover cart that she carries with them.
Who pissed in her cereal? Jeez. That's
and she like brings the heads back to her hometown so that they can make head soup. And everybody hates her because it tastes disgusting.
What the hell is this comic, dude?
So like the town elders all get together and they say that she's banished for a year because they're tired of her not helping out with the harvests and everything. So she just goes on like this excursion. Like she just leaves, and she's like, it even has like a fantasy adventure style map where she's like traveling along the road. And then she goes to this new town, and the town's like acting all weird, and she's like one of the shopkeepers that she's there trying to like buy and sell shit at. He like confides in her and tells her that she's like the only person that she's exactly what they need. They need an adventurer that's not from this city, because they're all like secretly being controlled by, like, blackmailed or controlled by this wizard on some island off the coast of their city. And the kicker is that the wizard has 2 unicorns. So now she's like all in, and she's like ready to just go over there and freaking like try and find these unicorns so she can slaughter them.
This book is
it's like random as hell.
Dude, it's so fun. It is a really fun read. It's very, very, very good art. Like I was blown away by this comic. It's so much fun to read.
That's
Yeah,
awesome,
dude.
dude.
So yeah,
All right.
That
yeah,
sounds
I'd
fun.
definitely give this a 4.5. Oh brothers.
Hey,
Nice,
going high. That's like
dude.
2 4 5s like in one review.
Dude, heck yes. And the 4.5 for me wasn't even even my top pick.
Yeah, it is a really fun book to read.
Dude, you
Yeah,
might
that sounds
convince me,
cool. I'll have to
man.
like I'm gonna have to like take a look at that one.
Same. I'm gonna have to do that. That sounds cool.
All right, Matt, you're up.
It's so completely random.
Oh yeah.
All right. So like I said, so this one was almost my pick of the week too. I had a really hard time like really deciding which one was my pick of the week because this one was so good too. But this one is a Valiant comic. It's Shadow Man #2.
Oh,
Um,
is this like the
never,
old school Shadow Man?
yeah, dude. I guess he's been around since like 1992.
Yeah.
Never heard of this dude.
Wow.
But I guess it's just a new like a current run with this guy. It's really good, man. The writing is awesome. The art is really good. I love the art. It's just yeah, I kind of get like Crow kind of like the Crow kind of vibes with it, you know. It's basically you have Jack Boniface, whatever. He's like the Shadow Man. He's I don't know. Like I get maybe the sense he's like kind of like the Reaper sort of, but like I'm not really sure. The narrator of the comic is Baron Samadi. Um, he's kind of telling the story, but then in the story he's hanging out with Jack, who's the main character. In this particular issue, it opens up really fun. It's like a family, like Brady Bunch kind of happy-go-lucky family driving down the highway, and they see a hitchhiker, and they're like, "Oh, should I pick him up, honey?" And it's kind of fun, just a fun vibe. And then they pick up the hitchhiker, and the guy pulls out a knife, but then it's the family that turns into like these demon creatures and kills the hitchhiker, and it's awesome, dude. But the hitchhiker had the same plan to take him to what is it, Enoch, Arizona. But the hitchhiker family is also trying to collect souls for Enoch, Arizona, and there's like this big monster there.
Wow. Okay.
That's super dope. It's got 3 heads. It's like a fly, a dog, and a raven. But it's like collecting souls for whatever reason. I don't know. And then Jack goes, and it's like this ghost town, desert town, and he goes and fights this thing, and he has like it's like he like kind of manifests this scythe that just like appears, and he fights, and it's sick, dude. I love it. Pick it up, like I love it. Like I said, this was almost my pick of the week, but I think the other one, Greg Castle, just beat it out. And
Who's that published by?
Valiant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I totally keep reading it, dude. This is what I said. This was #2, so I plan on going back to #1, reading it, catching up, and then following along with it. I don't get the sense that this is like a short. Like I feel like it's kind of an ongoing story. Okay. Like I think it's probably going to be a long run, so I don't know how long I'll stick with it, but yeah, like I think just the art sucked me in. Like just the art alone was like one of those things that drew me to the book. And then the story it was good. Like I love the relationship between Jack and Baron. And just the action was cool, and the family and the hitchhiker, like everything about it was just really well done.
Interesting.
So out of what is it? Oh brother
awards, dude. Oh brother.
Okay.
Out of 5, how much you got? You
gave
gave
it
it 4.6 last week.
Yeah, I give a 4.6 to my pick of the week. So this one would probably I just have to go 4.5. It just have to be one notch under. This one easily could have been a pick of the week for sure. Like it easily could have been, but I think Great Castle, just whatever mood I was in, just happened to take it. But yeah, great book. Again, yeah, I feel ignorant, man. He's been around since 1992. Never heard of Shadow Man, but he's been around forever. I feel bad not knowing about him because he's like it was an awesome book. Yeah. Like I wish I knew more.
All right, I guess I'm up. So for my next, this was a very close to my pick of the week, but not quite there. This I was really surprised, and I guess I can't be too surprised, honestly, because I've loved this series. Um, my next is Haha issue number 5.
No.
These have been great. They're just little kind of semi dark, in a way, just self contained stories. And it's been really awesome. I believe it is a short run. I don't know if they've decided to continue it or not, but this has been pretty popular. So I hope they do continue it because this is really kind of unique. In this issue, though, it focuses around this character here. It's this older woman who is a former clown performer for the circus. And at this time, they really kind of portray her as just like the crotchety, old, cranky, just old person. So, like, they open up the story and she's at the supermarket and she's that kind of person that just complains about everything. So she picks up like a package of like cauliflower and she's like, oh gosh, when I was, back in the day, cauliflower didn't need to be cut up into pieces for those lazy people, kind of thing. And then she gets up to the register and she throws it up there and, all her stuff. And they're like, oh, the cash register's like, oh, it's $17 and some odd cents. She's like, oh, $17. That's so expensive nowadays. Yeah, that kind of thing. Gets to her house. She goes to open the door. And it's like, oh, keys used to be bigger, back in the days. Why are they so small? That kind of thing. And she's always dressed as like the clown. But as the story continues, you kind of learn about her and you start really connecting with her. And you get to see where she starts reminiscing about the good times, kind of thing, about when she was really the happiest at this circus. And she shows when she goes into the house, it's kind of dark, dreary, but you open it up and it's filled with clown memorabilia, statues, everything, masks, all kinds of stuff that's clown related that she's probably collected throughout the years being a clown in her career. But you start to learn very quickly that everyone she's come to love, that is her family from the circus, is all come and gone. They've died, they've passed on, and she's basically the last one left. And so this is why she's basically looks at life as like, the way life is now, it's so different. Everything I loved, my heyday is gone. It's kind of crappy nowadays.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Like, it sounds kind of deep. Like, is that the sense of it? Like, it's a deep.
That's what I got out of this book. But because they're self-contained, this one just happened to be deep. And like I said, it was close to my top. I was so surprised at how much I really enjoyed this book.
Huh. And when you say self-contained, like, she's not an ongoing character. No. Like, this was like one issue.
Yep. Each issue is its own story.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah, it seems really cool.
So, sorry, I know I took a little bit more time. I really enjoyed this book.
It seems really good. And that wasn't your pick of the week?
Not my pick of the week, but it was close. On all my books, and maybe I might have to look at my scale again because I'm already, putting them up pretty high. This book right now, easily a solid 4.5.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, easily solid 4.5. Oh, brother award on that. All right. I'm going to hand it over to you, bro. You're up, Nick.
All right. My next one, just like you guys, it was very close for my pick of the week. And I'm sure based on my background here that you can tell. But this one is Beta Ray Bill.
Let me guess.
Number 3. But dude, Daniel Warren Johnson is freaking killing it with this run. Like, it's just such a fun book to read. So yeah, like, even if Beta Ray Bill was not my favorite character, like, I would still really enjoy this book.
Okay.
So, like, if you guys read the previous, like, Thor issues, the King in Black series, Beta Ray Bill Stormbreaker gets destroyed when he disagrees with Thor, and they fight, and Thor uses his all-father powers to friggin' just smash Stormbreaker. And this book here, like, the series is delving more into the personal feelings that Beta Ray Bill has, how he doesn't really feel comfortable with his horse face, and now that Odin is no longer the All-Father and he no longer has Stormbreaker, he can't transform back into his normal self. He feels like an outcast. He feels like Thor is constantly outshadowing him every time a battle
That's
happens.
cool.
And Beta Ray Bill doesn't have like the strength to deal with it immediately. He
Mhm.
never really has time because Thor always shows up and outshines him, and everybody then thanks Thor, not Beta Ray Bill, even though Beta Ray Bill held this monster off for the entire time that it took for Thor to get there. And so like they're always celebrating Thor, and they're never celebrating him. So
Oh, that's super interesting.
yeah, so Thor made him the Master at Arms at Asgard, right? So he then uh, kind of has like a fling with Sif, right? But Sif expects that he is going to turn back into his normal self once they get back to the bedroom, and he tells her that he can't. So then she's like, "Well, I'm sorry, but I can't."
You got a horse face.
So that was like the last straw, right? So he leaves Asgard in search for Odin
Okay.
because he wants another weapon, because he wants to be able to transform back into himself. Like they're really like Daniel Warren Johnson is doing a really good job of making it like you feel for Beta Ray Bill. Like because
That's
he
cool.
was always like a side character before, and this is like all about how he's a side character and how that makes him feel. Like he doesn't want to be a side character; he wants to be the guardian that he was built to be. So
right.
he's on a mission to find a new weapon to be able to command that power again. Because once you taste the power of Thor, like you want it.
It's a drug.
Yeah.
You get your first hit
Makes
for free,
sense.
and then you got to pay for it.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
Odin like sends him to this portal that he created a long time ago. It's like the one-way portal or something like that into Muspelheim. And so he takes Scuttlebutt, his ship, and goes through this portal. And something with the portal freaking like messed around with his ship, and his ship becomes even more sentient than it already is, and develop its own body. So now Scuttlebutt is like this female robot looking character. Uh,
Nice.
so
Some
yeah, I
craziness.
definitely continue reading this book.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
All right. What's your old brother awards, bro?
Oh, for this one, I'd definitely say a 4.
Okay. Solid 4.
Okay.
Nice.
4.
Nice.
And then just to comment on your Beta Ray Bill, like you know this probably more than I do, in more in depth, but with Beta Ray Bill's like insecurities and stuff like that. But when Beta Ray Bill was introduced, he whooped the shit out of Thor, not knowing who Thor was. Thor was Thor. He didn't have a hammer. I'm like Beta Ray Bill didn't have a hammer. He didn't have any of that stuff. He just was Beta Ray Bill, and he whooped the shit out of Thor. So
yeah,
I'm
but
just
Thor
saying,
has the Allfather, the Odin force.
now, he's got the Odin
Full
force
put
now,
cheat
but-
codes in, man. That's no fair.
Yeah,
but-
Matt, you're up, bro.
Very
What
good.
you got next?
All right, so this one was definitely not my pick of the week. Definitely not one of my favorites, but it was good. I appreciate it. It is by Dark Horse. It was The Witcher, the new run Witcher's Lament or Witch's Lament.
Witches? Sorry.
Yeah, so the Witcher story, but the name of the run is Witch's Lament.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's part of the Witcher series. Okay.
Yeah, and you know it was good. Like, even though this wasn't like my pick of the week or nothing like that, like the art style of this book was like top notch, dude. Like it was like up there. Like it's a really cool art style. I really like the art. So of course you have like Geralt, The Witcher.
Mm-hmm. Henry
Um,
Cavill. Yep.
yeah, he like was the main dude. He kind of just goes along. Like it opens with them burning a woman at the stake.
A witch, obviously.
Yeah, a witch. He like maybe I don't know. Like I know there's probably a lot of false accusations back then, but
as long as she weighs the same as a duck,
yeah,
we're good.
There you go. She weighed the same as a duck, so they burned her, and so he was there watching. It was kind of cool, but like what the element that I did like about it, because I just like psychology and and all that type of stuff. Like in my personal life, that's stuff I work in, and I like that. But seeing Geralt the Witcher kind of suffer with like PTSD and like guilt is what he's suffering with in this story. I thought that was a really cool element. I think that put a little depth to his character because he's kind of a very somber, tough character, you know, just kind of one-liners, very quiet, very reserved. So adding that element of like of guilt and PTSD possibly, like I thought it was really cool, like a really cool layer that they added to him. So he's hearing voices and that type of stuff. Like he goes and he like meets like I don't know, a prostitute, but then he's like with her, but he sees this woman burning at the stake. Like he's like, you know, having relations, but she like is engulfed in flames, and he kind of like has a flashback or whatever.
The opposite of what you want to think of with the hooker, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a cool layer. I do enjoy that. When I was looking at it, like right on the cover, it's just, you know, the series is 1 of 4, so it's only 4 issues. So I think that in itself was like, oh, it's 4 issues. I kind of see where this goes. I think that would make me want to stick with it. If I didn't know that, if I knew it was a longer run, I probably like I could live without it, you know.
You seem to be more of the self-contained stories, dude. I definitely have noticed, like, you like those, you know, beginning and end stories. Nothing just continuous till infinity.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of more my style too, and plus, like, and I think just with this particular story, it just, like there wasn't like a whole lot there to like really keep me super engaged,
Right.
other than like my favorite thing about it was simply like the art style. Like that was like that would be the best thing about it, I would say.
Dude, back in my retail days, that's how I would sell like computers and stuff to people. Like, I firmly believe that 90% of your purchase making is visual.
Yeah.
Art in comics is so important. The story, yes, the story is there to catch the reader once they bought the comic. Art
but you
gets
them
to buy the comic. Yes, and so it has to be good and intriguing.
Yeah,
Art's
I mean that's what you just like we were talking about. Like I went like Nick talked about what love.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it wasn't for the cover of I think it was Shadow Man that I went to instead. Like that cover caught me, but like but if it wasn't for the cover, I probably would have done love. You know what I mean? But dude, so like what you're saying is like super true.
And that's the thing, dude. Even when I'm at the LCS, I'm sure you guys are the same way. When I'm looking at the wall of comics, I'm like, you know, what we got here? That cover is what gets me. And then when I pick it up, I open up to look at the interiors. I want to see some decent art, something that like is intriguing.
Yeah. Especially with independents. So like I have my dedicated Marvel runs that I'll pick up, like Beta Ray Bill, Thor, stuff like that. And I picked that up just because of the title, right? Because those are my favorite characters. Whereas with the independent publishers, like I'm looking for something that looks intriguing.
Yeah.
Like the title isn't necessarily going to tell me what's going on, right?
Yeah. So, man, I don't want to do disservice, but like, because it really wasn't bad. It's just
three is everything you want in a comic, right? It's a good story. It's interesting. It keeps you going. It's a standard good comic. 3 is the middle road.
Gotcha. All right, I got you. So, I'll say like a 3-3.
Okay. You know, I love that you're into these like 0.01 differences or 0.1 differences.
No, dude, it makes a big difference, man. Hey, like with Shadow Man and Great Castle, that's a difference.
That's good.
It's that decimal.
That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my next one. This, since it is the last one too, it just happened to be that. This is obviously my pick of the week. So my pick of the week, Something is Killing the Children.
There you go.
We've been waiting for a while for another Something is Killing the Children to come out soon. They've had a little break for it. We finally got it. And this one did not disappoint. This book, we got to get the origin story of Erica Slaughter. and how she became what she is. And in this issue, it starts off as her as a kid, and it's the first time that she's ever have to fight off one of these monsters that kill these children, kind of thing. And she's probably, I don't know, 12. I want to say they said her age in here, but I want to say it was kind of around then. Sorry, I can't remember exactly. Put it up here different. But anyway, she's a young kid, and it starts off in this room where she's just sitting there kneeling on the floor, and she's just got these bright white eyes. And you see that there's this monster behind her, this corpse. And then you also see that she's got family members' bodies laying on the floor too. So you quickly get to realize that her family was attacked by one of these monsters, and she's the only one that survived. And in this story, you then quickly introduced to this other woman who is there. Her name is Jessica. She's part of these monster hunters. And she basically sees that this child, Erica, has done something that no other child that she's seen has ever done, and survived, and actually fought these monsters and won and killed it. And so, you get to see there's something special about her. And so you hear this dialogue with Jessica. I'm sure it's Jessica. Hold on, notes real quick. Yes, Jessica. You get to see that she's arguing with someone, because you get the sense of like, this is a very secretive, kind of very close-knit society of these hunters, kind of thing. And you just don't bring anyone in. Like, you're kind of like, there's an indoctrination kind of thing into this kind of thing. And they just don't do this, especially someone like this. But because she's so special, Jessica's like, dude, this is like a diamond in the rough. This has never happened before. And so she basically goes and starts talking to talking to Erica, and gives her the option. She's like, look, I'm going to be straight with you. You did something that no one has ever done. And unfortunately, your family's died, and you're the only survivor. I can offer you the opportunity to be trained and learn how to fight these monsters, and hopefully stop this from happening from other kids in the future. Because there's many kids that aren't as lucky as you are being able to fight this. Obviously, like she's the first. And so it's interesting to see, because Erica, her personality at that point, I don't know if it almost reminds me of someone that is pushed to the edge and snaps past that edge, and then it doesn't necessarily affect them anymore. They're almost numb to it, in a sense. And so she looks at it and she's just like, okay, kind of thing. And they give her the option to like, hey, my people are going to take care of the cops. Take the time you need to say your goodbyes, because you're going to need to. And for a 12-year-old, it's like, dude, crazy. Her parents are murdered and her sister's murdered, all over the floor, and she's got to say goodbye to them and then get taken to the secret society thing. This is a great book. I'm looking forward to the next issue. I'm definitely giving this is my top book. It's going to hit a 5.
You can't go 5.
I can go 5. I am going to go 5. This is 5 Oh Brother Awards for me. All right.
Dude, that's
awesome,
big,
dude.
man. That's bold move.
It was an amazing story. Now, if I am correct in this, gentlemen, that brings us down to the 2 that were our top books that we wanted to read this week. Unless you guys have any others, right?
Nope.
Nope.
That was them.
All right. So let's do this. Let's jump into Darth Vader.
All right.
Sounds good.
Nick, you want to give us a little synopsis on this, bro?
Sure. You guys can jump in whenever, but
Yeah, no, we will. But give us a little idea of this. This was a good book.
Basically, Vader is back at his master's feet after showing his want to dethrone the Emperor.
And that was on Exegol, right?
That was on Exegol, and we find out that Palpatine intentionally brought him to Exegol because he's more powerful on Exegol because of how powerful the dark side is on Exegol. So he wanted Vader to see just how powerful he can be, the Emperor can be, through the use of Exegol. Right. So basically brings Vader to his knees, pledges his allegiance again to the Emperor. He brings him back to the same facility that he was originally fixed on, right after Obi-Wan defeated him with the high
Mustafar.
ground.
Yep.
And the robot offers to put him to sleep during the procedure of fixing his body, and he says no, that he wants to feel the pain that he's caused Luke and everybody else, and he's going through like all these flashbacks to basically convince himself that that if Luke is not going to turn, that he's going to die by Vader's hand.
Yeah, because he starts thinking about Luke, and it was interesting to read because he's almost angry at Luke for what he did.
Yep.
I mean, it shows like what he did with the Death Star, and it's like the first time you really get to see Vader angry at his son, like almost.
So I think he's angry because he saw hope in Luke, and he was too weak to make the change. Like he realized that him offering Luke a position with him in the dark side was weakness on his own part, and now he's blaming Luke for not taking that power.
Well, right, because he even said, "Oh, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead."
Oh no, I just thought it was like he saw Luke as weak, is what he like clearly says in this comic, and I just thought that was like, oh, cool.
But I think he was trying to convince himself of that.
That I do feel the same. Yeah, I feel like he was trying to convince himself, because it definitely feels like he has some compassion in there, but after everything in what basically Palpatine beat him into submission, into the dark side. Now he's trying to channel his anger, and even Palpatine talks about that when he talks to, and I can never remember the right hand guy that he has, the guy from the Senate with the Laku's and stuff
in the Vizier.
Yeah, and I can't remember his name, but
I think they always call him Vizier.
Oh, okay, but he even talks about, he's like, hey, Palp, like, he tried to kill you, why you fixing him, kind of thing. And Palp's like, well, hey, man, I beat him into submission. I basically made him a bitch. He's going to go ahead, and this is what he's going to do. He's going to start thinking about things. He's going to channel his anger into something else now, and he's now going to become even stronger, and he's going to become a better apprentice to me. And besides, you're beneath him, so shut the hell up, kind of thing. So,
well, he doesn't even say that. He says that you're too low for him.
Not even on his radar.
Yeah,
you're too lowly for him to even care about you.
So, and that's interesting to see, and it's almost as if like Vader is using Luke. It's an easy outlet for Luke, for him to get rid of that anger, kind of thing. Yeah. But as the book progresses, like I said, he kind of questions himself at the end there. At the end, he does kind of come to the conclusion, like, at this point, you basically made the choice. You're going to die the next time we meet. But there's things about him where he even kind of questions himself. And if I'm remembering right, at the end of the comic, he's like, there may be a chance to still turn you, kind of thing. I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm going to give it. Let's give it some rewards on this. I so far it's got me intrigued. I'm giving it a solid. I'm going to go 3.5. It was intriguing. It was just kind of filler after with the last issue, so I'm looking forward to the next and see if we get a little bit more.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say I did like this, like as a Vader issue. Like I really liked the Vader run in this issue in particular. It just felt bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think I would give this one like a 3.8.
I love it. You better keep with those random numbers. That's awesome.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yes.
Yeah, so I didn't see this issue as a filler. I actually really liked all of the tie-ins and everything that they did. So I really enjoyed this issue. I would probably give it a 4.0.
Okay. Hey, so at least we're in between 3.5, 4.0. It's a good issue.
Yeah.
But this next one,
the big one.
The big one.
Everyone's big one all over the world.
The Last Ronin.
Yeah, dude.
And in this book, the delays in this book. It's almost as bad as Doomsday Clock. Oh, oh, God, please stop. But every time these come out, they're so good. So good. I love the darkness. I love how Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, and they're getting back to the original roots of TMNT and being dark and gritty. And this book just had all of it. In this book, we continue with, and again, spoilers. We continue.
We're like 2 hours into the
hours into. People know there's spoilers, man.
Just as a reminder. But either way, we continue following Mikey, the last of the brothers that's alive. Yeah. And we kind of progress the story because the turtles and like April and these guys have lived a good long time. And right now they are fighting, and I believe, let's see his name, so I want to get this right. It's the grandson of the Shredder, who is now running the Foot Clan, Hiroto. Yep. And basically he has taken over as the family leader, and we get to see a lot in this issue, man. We get to see a lot. He has taken over the Foot Clan. Obviously, they show flashbacks of when he took it over, because this is in the future. He's obviously got control of it. Well, in the last issue, we see, because Michelangelo has been messing with, him and trying to get back at him for everything that's happened, he is now upping the stakes, and he's going after the mutant. And so he ends up basically flexing his muscle for his power, because he controls this city.
He institutes martial law.
And he institutes martial law. And basically he comes up and he's like, these people have been living off my good graces for a long time, and I need to show them who's the man, like who they are under. And he basically comes up on this hologram. He's like, you know what? These guys try to kill me. You know what? This is what, you guys need to understand. Like, I am here and you're prosperous because of me. So you do what I say. I'm instigating martial law. We're going to find these insurgents, and we're going to finally put this to rest, kind of thing.
Yeah.
In the process, we get a flashback of when this all kind of first started, and this actually started with his mother, the Shredder's daughter, and I'm sorry, I can't remember her name at the Harai. Thank you.
Harai.
And we go back to this time where all of a sudden they're back at the headquarters or the secret base of the Turtles with Casey Jones and April and everyone. Well, it quickly, escalates. And
at that time, Raphael's not there anymore.
Right, Raphael's not there. Yes, point. Yeah. I'm sorry. So it's like Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, April, Casey.
So far, he has the best death, though.
Oh, hey, hold on. We're getting to that.
Raphael has the best death?
Yeah, dude. Karai.
Wait, all right, hold on. We're getting derailed.
But either way, a ton of friggin' Foot Clan with him.
We're getting derailed again.
Karai with him.
Anyway,
I agree. Let's definitely remember this.
Yes,
because
we'll
I would like to talk about
because it's
I would like to talk about this.
But anyway, real quick, basically, they put out the Orokosaki clan. Put out this like ceasefire to the Turtles, and they finally get to this point. And actually, it's when Hiroto takes over the family as leader
after Raphael and Karai.
Yeah. So he is
Raphael's dead, and Karai is in a comatose state.
Yeah, he's indoctrinated into the leadership of the Foot Clan, kind of thing, and he accepts it. And he, it's his first command. He does this offering, this peace offering, and he kind of comes off as if he's sincere. And he's just like, "We've all suffered enough. I'm tired of this loss and this senseless bloodshed between this family feud and this war through generations. Let's have a peace treaty." And so they send news to Splinter, and so the next thing they know, they're on a plane to
Splinter and Donatello are.
Yeah, Splinter and Donatello are on a plane to go this meeting that's supposed to be this peace meetings. Donatello is always a little bit apprehensive, with this whole thing, because every time they've dealt with his family, it's always been a lie, and they can't be trusted. But Splinter still has faith that, maybe hopefully with this new generation, because he is supposedly different than, Shredder and his mother, that maybe he's just tired of the senseless bloodshed as much as they are. And this is finally a peace option. Well, that doesn't happen. At this time.
But Splinter and Donatello don't know yet.
Splinter and Donatello don't know. But what we find out is Baxter Stockman is around. And he's used to then attack the Turtles' headquarters. Because
and he tracked
that's what I'm getting at,
what's
is he hacked Fugidoid, and if I pronounce that right, but he was the metal the robot companion of the Turtles back in the day, and so he tracked him, and I guess he used to be like a slave of Baxter Stockman kind of thing, and so he's been escaped from him, and Baxter's trying him. But anyway, during this whole thing, they take that opportunity to make an attack on the Turtles. So they basically made a distraction to separate them and weaken them. In this process, this whole battle with this Foot Clan, these heightened Foot Clan soldiers, they've never seen anything like these guys. But Leonardo's there, Casey Jones is there on the outside, kind of leading this fight, when all of a sudden they start attacking this compound that they're at their secret headquarters. But because they tracked Fugidoid, they found this base kind of thing. And so Mikey, April, and Fugidoid basically are told by Casey Jones, like, Casey Jones told Michael, like, get my wife and him to the safe room, protect them, kind of thing. And so he separates to get that taken care of, and then Leo and him handle all the hard work out front, holding the front line, kind of thing. And they're quickly.
That's when they're out there, and Leonardo is like hacking fools down, dude.
Yeah.
He's like straight up like Wolverine scene. Like he's just hacking fools. Dude, I'm just throwing it out there.
Hacking fools down, dude.
It's not like the cartoon.
Even
like
he's using, dude, with like
he's using
bats.
those katanas, man.
Yeah. Dude, even the Casey Jones of baseball bats, and he breaks those baseball bats over those new Foot Clan soldiers, and he's just like, oh, they break, and he's like, oh, I guess you're not baseball fans. How about cricket? Pulls that out.
Yeah, and then he works into a sledgehammer.
Yeah, so he gets punched by one of those things and ends up finding a sledgehammer, and that becomes his new weapon. I can't remember the name. Oh, I wish I remember the name of it. Put that in there, but he names the sledgehammer. But anyway, long story short, Baxter Stockman basically gets frustrated with the whole situation because they're kind of holding him off. Michelangelo gets April and Fugidoid to the safe room, but they're still being attacked at the same time because there's been Foot Clan infiltrating the base. But Baxter Stockman gets frustrated, and he sends in like all of his new mechanical kind of like droids, almost like the Mousers, but these are like high tech and they're flying in and all kinds of stuff.
They are Mousers, but they're just like upgraded Mousers.
Version,
and by the way, his sledgehammer is called the Ledge.
The Ledge. Yep, the Ledge.
There you go.
Because it's legendary.
And this is where we finally get it. And it is kind of a cheap death, unfortunately, but dude, those guys fought to save everything, and it is really a turning point where all of those robots that Baxter Stockman sent in, he just detonates them and just annihilates this building, leaves it in rubble, and we just see that Casey Jones mask and the katana from Leo stuck in the ground.
And this is the antique store.
And we know they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone. We then wake up later with Michelangelo. Well, actually, at this whole point, because Michelangelo is with April now. Wait. I'm saying in general because we're back in the normal current time. He's with April.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And we're back now with April and Casey's daughter, which is also, her name is, it's Casey, right?
Yeah, Casey.
Yeah, Casey. Yeah, her name is Casey as well. But
Who
of
looks
course,
like Dr. Aphra.
so
she got the same hat.
The same hat, right? Yeah. But so with her, there's this whole thing because we get this scene with Donatello, and this is what I love about this story, is psychologically what Michelangelo's going through with the trauma of losing his brothers, kind of thing, and that they still talk to him in his head.
Yeah, I do. I love the ghost scenes.
Yeah,
we only get one quick little ghost scene in this one though.
So he's talking, or they're talking to him, and they're basically telling him, like, dude, She's too young. She's like 16 or 17 or whatever. It's pretty young.
Yeah.
She's too young to be in this fight. Like, this is our fight, old fight. We've been around for a long time. Like, she shouldn't have to put her life on the line for that kind of thing. And so Michelangelo agrees, kind of thing. Like, she's just too much. But she's been fighting this war since she was little. This is like in her blood.
I thought he said, "So were we."
What?
Yeah, well, he's like
He
basically like sounds familiar or
He
something
did,
like that.
but he also agrees at this point. Like, dude, we've been doing
Yeah.
this for a long time. You shouldn't have to go through what we did when we were kids fighting. Like,
Yeah.
and they even tell him, like, his brothers even tell him, like, it's Casey Jones and April O'Neil's kid. Like, these are people that are our family, kind of thing. You got to protect their
Yeah.
kid. You can't let her be in that kind of thing. And so that's kind of they're building up this divide between the two of them, kind of thing, because they battle back and forth. Where he's like, you shouldn't be having to deal with this, and she's like, I don't have to listen to you, man. Like, I've been doing this for a while. I already got my own crew. I got everything taken care of. Like, you're just some old turtle that's been fighting this for 100 years. Actually, you're more of a detriment being here to us than anything, kind of thing. But anyway, and April's trying to, be the connection because she's been there the whole time. She's, been with these turtles. She knows. So she's still trying to be there for her daughter, but also being on Mikey's side. And actually, we skipped over a big part, and I do apologize. But at this time, Mikey has already seen they actually have Fugidoid's head.
Yeah.
April did show him, so I apologize. They did show that was a big part of the book. And we understand and we know that Fugidoid is still alive. They just keep him offline right now because if he gets turned on, Baxter Stockman may still track him like they did the last time. So they don't want to give their base away. Anyway, getting back to where April kind of breaks up the argument.
I thought they said they weren't sure how to turn him back on. Like, they know he's there.
No, they weren't sure if he would turn back on.
Right.
Correct.
April said, though, that she checked his systems and everything should be fine, and that basically he's in a hibernation state because of the protection that he wants to keep, kind of thing. But April ends up breaking up the argument between Mikey and her daughter and her group. He's like, hey, I need to show you this. And she brings him off to this little side room. And they open it up, and I don't know about you guys, but when I saw it, I was like, no way. She's got a whole garage of like old school turtle vehicles, including the original turtle van sitting in there
with armor.
Well, but then that's what she shows is what she's been working on this whole time. It's the new like turtle tank almost, and this is supposed to be their tool to getting the upper hand in this last final battle that they're planning for against this.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the issue ends.
Yeah, right there.
So
yeah, it's great. And there's like one little tidbit in there that, like her, how do you say Hiroto?
Hiroto, or that's how I pronounce it. But yeah,
I don't know. He kind of had
his craziness.
Oh yeah, like on the rooftops. Like I just you kind of skipped over that.
Oh, sorry. That's right.
It was minor, but it was kind of cool. Like he seems a little loony. Like he's got some insecurities. Like he's trying to like prove himself.
He's like on the top of a building and talking to himself and talking to his grandfather and stuff in his head about like how he was, and even to his mother about how he was like ignored. Like you died when I was young and you left me. You left me when I was young because you were too weak and you died.
Yeah.
But
so that was kind of a cool moment to mention.
And then he fell off the building.
He was bragging to them that all the people around him wouldn't allow him to die.
Well, right, because like angels, because he's a god, they would save him. And that's where he ended up tripping and he fell off the building and he was going to fall to his death. And then we got to see those mechanical arms. Well, it shows his foot hitting the edge and him falling into it. But in his head, he's laughing the whole time about how he knows he can't die. Nothing's going to allow him to die because he is a god. He has succeeded in where his grandfather and his mother have failed.
Yeah. It's kind of like a god complex where it goes to that Jesus, like that story of like Jesus where like Satan's tempting you. If you jump off the cliff, your angels will save you. That's kind of like that direct correlation.
Yeah, totally. But oh, dude, I'm just loving this book. I love how dark it is. I love
it.
I love everything to do with this story. I love that they chose Mikey in this. And I know even when we were talking about this book first coming out, we had our guesses. He was my top guess just because I personally feel as a character, him being like the comedic relief of the brothers, he had the most development for something of this situation where he's the last one of his brothers have all been died. His father, his master, has been killed. Casey Jones, is one of his great friends, has been killed. So this is, I've always felt Mikey would be a great choice for this, and so far it is. Oh, yeah. He's great. It's so dark and touching and sad in this story. I can't wait till the next one, and I'm hoping it's not a whole nother month or so, or 2 months or whatever.
Dude, it's like 2 months.
Guys,
it's so long, man.
Come on, like, please. You guys just like, and I don't write comics. I don't know, but you would think that like some of this would be kind of ahead of the game, like they have an issue all ready to go ahead of time. But I don't know.
Yeah, it just people crank comics out every friggin' week, man. It shouldn't take this long.
It takes a long time. And I can't wait to read this.
Look at the demand. Yeah. Like, look at the excitement. Like, I think that's part. If it was coming out every week or every other week, it probably wouldn't be quite as exciting, even though I think it still would be very exciting. Mm-hmm. So, like, to wait like 2 months for it is like, that's like,
it's hard. And it's what derailed Doomsday Clock, honestly. Doomsday Clock was a huge event for DC, and it was going to change a lot of things. And because it took almost like, I think it was almost 2 years we waited for that thing.
Yeah.
It's so I hate it when we
it has been announced when issue 4 will be released. So guesses on to when?
When did it come out? On like 5/26? So I don't think that far. Probably maybe July 20th, somewhere around there.
August.
What? God damn it, dude.
Yeah. I don't know why it popped my head, but yeah.
That's fucked up. August what? Or does it just say August?
It just says August. Yeah.
Dude, that's so fucked up, dude. I don't know, man. That's like way too long.
Yes.
But I don't see myself losing interest in it.
Oh, no. Like, that's just the problem. It's like, my problem is like, after reading this one, I got to go back and I want to read issues 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Just to catch back up, because there's so much in there. And that's what it's like. When this finally is out, I have to read it all as like a just continuous story, because it's what it needs. The problem is why the hell is it 3 months before it's released in the next one? Come on, guys.
Yeah, so I don't collect trade paperbacks, but this is going to be one that I also pick up the trade paperback for.
Yeah, for sure. It's just one you got to get.
Or hardcover or whatever they come out with.
Yeah. So
this is an amazing story so far.
You know what? We've talked about it. What do we got for awards on this?
Yeah. All right. Okay. So my pick of the week was like what, 4/7, I think. So this one by far, like, so this was still my favorite book of the week. So
the pick
and I can't get the week. Yeah. So this was better than my pick of the week. So like, it's got to be like a 4/8 for sure. 4/8. I can't give it a 5, but it's a 4/8. That's pretty much perfect.
Almost, yeah. It's good. It's pretty close. Nick, what you think?
Yeah, dude, I'm with Matt on this one. I got to give it a 4/8.
You guys are so weak on the 5s. Give it a 5.
You can't.
That's what I'm giving it. It has hit everything that I want in a comic book.
You can't give stuff a 5. There's no room for growth. What if there's a better comic? You can't give it a 5.
That's not what I'm looking at. It's as every comic, as long as it hits the notes that I'm looking for, it's like it's compelling, it's intriguing, keeps you entertained, it keeps you engaged. I want to know more. And the fact that this thing is coming out in 3 months and it still wants me to wait for the next one, and I can't.
That's why I gave it a 4/8.
That's why it's a 5. Now,
that's why it's a 4/8.
All books are going to be that. If it goes over it, it's still in that 5 territory for me. This book was on top, and I know I rated a lot of the books, and unfortunately, a lot of the books I read this week are pretty high end books, books that are pretty popular. So I agreed, and I definitely gave them higher scores. I'll try and maybe change that up a little bit.
I gave it a 4/8. Because I subtracted 0.2 because I have to wait until August 11th to read the next one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So give it a little knock for the delay, because Jesus, 3 months. Come on, guys.
This was definitely the best comic of this last week.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, by far. And I think everyone picking up comics this week would agree. Like, everyone's looking forward to The Last Ronin. Like, everyone's getting in this issue.
It's true. It's true. Alrighty, guys, that kind of wraps up our weekly review for this last week.
All right, man.
Man.
Yeah, that was good.
We had some good books, had some good discussion. Definitely, please, all you guys out there viewing, please leave your comments down below and let us know what books you read this week and what you thought about it. What was your top picks? We'd love to hear about them. We'd love to hear what people's opinions are on them, because we all have our own opinions of these books and we want to know what you guys think. So please leave those comments down below. We'd love to talk to you about them. Also, we welcome you to join us. Please join the Oh Brother Army here. We have the family. Welcome you to our family, brothers and sisters out there. Hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell so that you get our next videos and keep up to date with us on these comic reads. And please hit that like button if you enjoyed this. If not, please feel free to hit that dislike button, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And
But you're dead to us. I'm just playing.
and with that, guys, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
Peace.